Hey, this is Joe Gilder from HomeStudioCorner.com. I've got a new EP coming out next week, December 1st, 2015. But before that comes out, I wanted to play a little snippet of the first song on the EP and talk about something that's a little awkward that a lot of people won't like. And that's the idea of using stock plugins to do serious mixes. Now today I'm shooting this video on Black Friday. If you live in the US, your email inbox probably looks a lot like mine. It is bombarded with Black Friday deals. And if you're into audio, a good chunk of those are on things like plugins. Big, fancy, fun plugin bundles. I've got nothing against plugin bundles. However, they have become a crutch for a lot of people. If you're familiar with Studio One, look at my mix here. This entire mix was done, the entire EP actually was done using stock plugins. And by stock plugins, I mean the plugins that came with my recording software. That's all I'm using. And guess what? It doesn't sound amateur. Okay? So if you are one to believe that you must buy the latest, greatest plugin bundle, you must have 10,000 different EQs and compressors to use if you want any hopes of having a good mix, I'm encouraging you to stop thinking that way. Forget about it. It doesn't work that way. If you can become a good mixer with stock plugins, guess what? The fancy plugins will just be icing on the cake. But if you flip that around and you start with the fancy plugins, you're going to be quickly disappointed if your mixes don't sound good. Because those plugins do not solve the major issue with your mixes. And you're not going to like this, but the major issue with your mixes, if you're not happy with your mixes, you're the problem, not the stuff you're using. You need to be a better recording engineer and a better mixing engineer. And that only happens by skipping over all the junk, skipping over all the stuff that everyone out there is telling you. You need fancy plugins, you need this next plugin bundle will be the savior of your mixes. It won't be. I'll go ahead and spare you the expense and the frustration. It's not going to save anything. However, if you get to a point where you can crank out really good sounding mixes using just the stock plugins that came with your recording software, now that's a game changer. Suddenly you can get a nice compressor to put on your drum mix and it'll sound even better. Oh, that's so good. But if you don't know the basics of how to get a good mix using the barest of essentials, there's really no point in going any higher and going any fancier. Okay? Sermon is over. I know I've said this many times in the past, but I still get people contacting me almost angry that I would say something like this. But it's the truth, and I'm here to tell you the truth, okay? So, if you want to mix this song along with the other 3 songs on my EP and learn specifically how I approach mixing drums, then you need to check out my new drum mixing course. It's called Guide to Drum Mixing. It's called Drum Mixing Guide. And you can check it out over at understandingmixing.com/drums. Love to have you. You can save a good chunk of money if you buy now before the class starts. Or if you're watching this in the future, the course will still be available, and I'd love for you to check it out. It will, I guarantee it'll transform your mixes. And if it doesn't, ask for a refund. But it will. All right, that's it for me. I'm Joe from HomeStudioCorner.com. See ya.